And as Kevin Hart said in the courtroom scene at the beginning of this movie, quoting his own, I'm assuming now deceased mother, "You can't be successful until you try."
However, you can also not fail until you try. Welcome to Soul Plane.
And you can not be successful if you do try.
And they tried.
Soul Plane.
Actually, I'm not even sure if they did try.
I want to cover all the bases, because I don't know if they did try, and I don't know if they didn't try, but fucking hell.
So, it's the 15th anniversary of Soul Plane. The idea of it having a 15th anniversary makes it seem a lot more prestigious than it is.
15th anniversary actually coincided with my own birthday.
Our own Joshua Jack's birthday, so it was a special birthday treat.
Yeah.
We strapped him down, we watched another film.
We did it again.
From the makers of Stan Helsing, which is something I think even the people who Meet the Spartans didn't know of Stan Helsing. I think this is definitely approaching like Vampire Sucks territory.
See, Aaron, the funny thing is, one of them is an anniversary of a deeply regrettable and aborted attempt at something good. And the other one's Soul Plane.
Oh! I actually...
Sitting on that one the whole way through the movie.
That was good, that's really good.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the thumbs up there.
Fuck, so this was made... So the director of this is the director of two 50 Cent films. The writers of this are a white guy and a black guy.
Yep.
Who I can only assume don't talk to each other. Because this film is written under the pretense that white people and black people lead entirely separate existences.
Yeah, and kind of are adversarial.
Yeah.
In their existence.
Like, constantly not wanting each other to fuck one another.
Have sex with each other.
Yeah.
We're doing this again.
Yeah,
We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Like, in this, it was like, there was such a fucking venomous undertone. No, there was a venomous overtone, thank you, of just, oh god, look at this white family. The two women really want to bang black guys. Isn't that drama?
And then
like,
neither of them do, but the white husband does?
Yeah, then he cheats.
Oh.
Then he is
let's
the guy who transgresses.
Whoa.
Woo.
Let's go back to the beginning. So,
okay.
I guess chronologically the beginning is that Kevin Hart is born underneath a airplane hotspot.
That flies very
but like
low over
comically
his house,
low over his mother's shack.
I was pissing myself. I thought
Yeah,
it was very
that was funny.
Yeah.
And then he grows up and he's always grown up wanting to fly in the planes that have presumably deafened him as a child.
Well, another piece of wisdom from his mother, along with the, you can't win if you don't play, was that one day you will be on one of those planes. And baby Kevin Hart took this and decided that one day I will own several of these planes and an airline franchise, I guess.
So he owns the NWA, which is an airline.
Don't know what it stands for.
Don't know what it stands for. I don't want to speculate.
I know what the NWA stands for.
What does it stand for?
Can't say that either.
No. Can't say anything really. It's going to be hard.
It's terrible.
It's like New Game Plus.
He tries to get on a plane and he's got his dog.
Oh yeah. Okay, so yeah, before he owns the airline, he tries to get on a plane. And he's struggling because he's never flown before. They don't really care about him or his dog. Long story short, his anus nearly gets sucked out of a plane toilet.
Yeah.
And because his anus nearly gets sucked out of a plane toilet, his dog is shoved into the turbine of the plane.
They try to first of all, the people not even in the cockpit, but
no,
like
it's
in
just
the cabin.
the people in like that bit before the cockpit.
Yeah, they see somehow that and communicate to each other that there's a man whose ass is stuck in the toilet and say that the solution
like a light
to this
flashing that says like man's ass stuck in toilet. Yeah.
Solution to which is to press a button that will presumably like pull the shit out of the toilet and then depressurize and pop him back off the toilet. Yep. But they slip in the takeoff turbulence and accidentally open the baggage hold, which contains his dog, which means all of the stuff in the baggage hold and the dog fly into the turbine, which is conveniently located right next to the window of the bathroom. Bathrooms in airplanes don't have windows.
No, yeah. Also, like, plane doesn't immediately explode or crash when a dog cage is mown up in the turbine.
But Chapman, it gets better, because what does Kevin Hart get during his court appearance for his dead dog?
So he sues the airline for his dog, and he wins due to a last-minute impassioned speech with the aforementioned quote about trying and succeeding.
Method Man was there as well.
Method Man was also there, and he gets $100 million.
That's not a joke.
In an Austin Powers.
That's the settlement amount. Da, 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 da.
It's not even by the judge, by the way. So, like, I think they misunderstood how law works because the jury suggests the figure. The judge is unhappy with the figure, but he still gets it.
Yeah. Yeah. And he agrees in front of the press to start an airline. And now
he starts the NWA.
I want to say this here. so we can then cover the rest of the film, because there are 2 more plot beats of this movie.
Okay.
The first of the 2 is that later he does actually have his airline, and when he's on one of his flights, he sees a woman who they tell you is his ex-girlfriend, and now she's engaged, and he doesn't want that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And the second of the remaining 2 plot beats is that at the end, it turns out that he broke up with her because he heard that she was not going to go to college so she could be with him, and he wanted to do the right thing, and then they end up getting together while the plane is landing. Everything else that happens is just shit.
A gag? Yeah.
Yeah, that's about an hour and a half more of movie in which those 2 things happen. And
The
it's
main
some of the most racist shit I've ever seen.
The main character's plot arc takes place within 15 minutes. He is born, he flies on a plane, his dog gets mincemeat, he gets enough money to buy the plane, he breaks up with his girlfriend, he gets back together with his girlfriend, he successfully flies and lands the plane.
Snoop Dogg wakes up.
Another minute or so, yes, Snoop Dogg wakes up.
Yeah.
Another minute or so is dedicated to him lecturing the closest thing we have to a second main character, being the white dad of
Count
the piece.
Cocula, yes.
He lectures him about what teabagging is,
Yeah.
and then walks off.
Says it's the shit.
Mm.
We also got some woman-on-man rape.
Oh yeah, that was good. Yeah,
abusing her position of power as the TSA.
So one thing me and Josh are learning about our foray into the early 2000s is that no one cared about consent.
No.
Or anything to do with sex and sexual practice.
But specifically, it was like especially fine to do rape on the men.
Yeah. So this man gets dragged into a room. He expressly doesn't want to have a hand shoved up his ass.
Does not consent.
Or anything up his ass, actually. He's generally against things being shoved up his ass.
Mm.
However, he is then forced to remove his trousers and his underwear, and then it cuts to black as he just screams.
She monologues while she does this.
She's loving it.
She's going to abuse her authority.
She's going to violate him.
Yep.
She actually says that.
Violate is, yeah, there you go. That was your comment that this is some kind of black apartheid terminal.
The white family starts off in a white terminal, and they're talking to like this Margaret Thatcher looking sort of like flight organizer woman.
Yes, who's secretly playing Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, she's secretly playing some sort of like... She says that the flights are booked up, but thankfully there's a flight to the same destination, which she guesses New York, it turns out, with the NWA. And they're like, oh, that sounds dandy. And they're all wearing like Crackerland hats, which are...
Reading a Crackerland magazine.
Crackerland magazine.
Because they're going to Crackerland, I guess.
Yep.
Didn't really establish that, they just showed the hats.
No, they just loved Crack... Or they'd just been to Crackerland. Was Crackerland out in LA?
Maybe in Florida.
Yeah, or wherever they were.
Yeah, wherever the fuck they were.
They go to the black terminal, which is something that I think this film accidentally sets up.
It would be completely fair.
It's like a cultural divide.
To call it, the black terminal.
Yeah. So there's like, they go to the white terminal, which just looks like every airport terminal, and then they go to the black terminal, and there's literally like hydraulics
people
and
dancing.
just people dancing,
sexual
fat
liberalism.
women, women just violating people.
Yeah.
At one point, they don't let the owner of the airline in, and he doesn't even feel able to challenge them.
Yep.
He just sort of accepts the abuse, and they call him short.
Even when they know who he is.
Yeah.
What else we got? We're on the plane. There's a co-pilot gay man.
Oh yeah, I like him. Best character in the film is a lovely African man, and he is just from Africa. No one ever goes into where in Africa.
Where in Africa? No.
He is from broadly the continent of Africa. Has the surname Gaiman with an E, but he is very keen to reinforce that he is not a homosexual.
No, that's right. He loves pussy.
Yeah, he does.
In his words.
And he is the co-pilot, and then there is a third co-pilot who is just a really fat man.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think that maybe he had more scenes that were cut, but there's no way that anything was cut from this movie.
No.
They
filmed the bare minimum. Four characters.
Snoop Dogg, there's the blind man who was the dad from Friday, who, so I've got blind equals sexual harassment A-OK. Sidebar, also Jewish, because he said he wanted the kosher airline food, and he was constantly touching women's arses, and at one point even finger bangs what he believes to be a woman, but it turns out to be a sandwich.
Yeah. There is a sexually voracious couple who are keen to join the Mile High Club.
Who join the Mile High Club.
Who continue to make it their aim, despite the fact they successfully join it twice, and yet by the third instance are risking their life and the lives of everyone on board to do
They're
so.
humping on the wheels of a landing plane.
Well, again, without consent. He doesn't. He's been forcibly tied to the wheels of the landing plane,
and he's blindfolded. And presumably, when the plane hit the concrete, the turning of the wheel would vaporise both of them.
Yep, and they would also freeze to death.
Because I'm a psychopath, I made a couple of notes from that sex scene. I've got no foreplay, straight into belt slapping, choking, and dick riding.
Complete disregarding of the safe word as well. That was really annoying. She's like, "What's your safe word?" He says, "Stop choking me, you crazy bitch."
Crazy bitch. And I have, you know what? Two more things. One of them was that this movie was so low that when Snoop Dogg was testing the microphone, so when people test microphones, they tend to say testing, 1, 2, 3. And these fucking geniuses, these James Joyces, these Marcel Prousts, these motherfuckers said, what can we do with that that's funny? I know what begins with a T. Testicles. So he says, testicles, 1, 2, testicles, 1, 2.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny about that is it's just layering so much in every scene.
No, it really built it up.
Yeah.
Like by the time that, once this was ending, it's like they'd imbued me with what the movie was about and its theme so much that it was like I was writing the ending for them as it was happening in front of me.
Yeah.
That's how perfect it was.
It was like, like you said in Proust, it's like, it channels to the deeper core of consciousness. I really felt like I felt like Terry Crews wanting to be with his 5 daughters, but he couldn't be because he was always securing stuff. Terry Crews is in this film.
He really is.
In fact, many famous people are in this film. Got Kevin Hart,
Snoop Doggy Dogg.
Snoop Dogg, Method Man.
Method Man, famous from How High, and also I think he did some music.
Yeah, probably
not. Time. Yeah, something like that. And Uncle Ruckus.
Uncle Ruckus
was the gay flight attendant.
Uncle Ruckus keeps appearing in these films. Yeah. I'm glad that. I guess this is what
wearing lip gloss.
I guess this is what he did when Boondocks wasn't filming.
Can you imagine waking up in the night? Because I wake up in the night and think about stupid things I said when I was in school.
Well, and imagining that there's a digital copy of Soul Plane out
there. Yeah. You wake up and you think, I played the incredibly offensive gay stereotype wearing lipstick in Soul Plane.
Well, this is the thing. Like, if I was any of these people, I would be quite worried that someone would discover Soul Plane.
Yeah.
Because clearly no one remembers it. We only learned that it was the 15th anniversary of this because our friend told us because of an Instagram barb.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure which brave motherfucking celebrity from this was celebrating the anniversary. Might have been Snoop Dogg because he doesn't give a shit anymore.
Yeah.
Nothing can touch Snoop Dogg anymore.
No, certainly not.
But yeah, no, everyone else I would be like, fucking shut the fuck up, Snoop Dogg. I might actually watch the film.
Yeah, I'd have to kill people.
Yeah.
You still think about, like that cameo you made in someone's like GCSE media film and you think about suicide.
Yeah, exactly. I think about bad
allegedly
fucking MySpace pictures I took.
Yes. You're like there's that one time where like you're pretty pissed, but then you remember your old social media profiles. You start hunting them down and guessing the passwords so you can delete them. But then sometimes you think, did I get all of them? Are they all gone? You'll never know.
Do you reckon Soul Plane will fall under the right to be forgotten?
I think that if anything deserves to, it's not this, because this is a crime.
Well, seriously got paid.
I have one more thing from the list. It's just anti-Muslim bigotry and post-9/11 hysteria.
Yeah, so this happened in 2004, which Bush hadn't been elected for a second term yet, but you can tell what America's still really focused on. And that's jihadism.
Fear of flying with people who appear to be Muslims.
Yeah, which is fascinating because everyone universally, like the white couple and every other black person on the plane, reacts with complete shock and abhorrence. It's like a first person. Almost
it was like Jaws.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I didn't know what it was going to be. The movie had sank so low before then. And it was we did guess one thing.
Yeah, we did.
So there's someone walking POV shot, and you can see they're holding a briefcase, and everyone's like recoiling from them. Yeah. And we thought, like, Don't Be a Menace, it might be the man.
We thought it was going to be like a guy in a suit, evil white man in a suit, maybe like the bad guy of the piece.
Yep.
But no, it was just an innocuous
man
Arab man
headdress. Yep.
And he never appears again.
No,
that was.
That was all they did.
Because I would have, like, even just a shot of, like, him panicking would have been funny.
And it not being his fault.
Yeah, exactly.
The plane was about
to crash. Or, like, the plane starts plummeting, everyone looks at him and he shrugs.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it, then at least do it well.
Yeah, you were already racist.
Yeah, exactly. You've already, like, done what most people, like, sort of dream of doing when they're making a fucking plane film.
We came up with one.
It's like they stepped across the line.
Yeah.
And they're like, you fucked up irreparably, but then they just step back across. Like, oh, is that it?
Yeah,
Is that what you're going to do? You just crossed the line.
It's too late
Come over.
to step back over. Like, run back over it. Our prospective remake of the ending just involved the only person who could fly the plane actually being this Muslim fella.
I just wanted him to be like an incredibly well-spoken like doctor or pilot. Like someone's having like a heart attack. He's like, oh yes, don't worry.
Oh no, don't worry. Yeah, I can.
I could help out. I went to Eton UC and then I went to Oxford, PhD and all that.
I signed the Hippocratic Oath. Yeah. For that reason, I can save the lives of the kafir.
Then you could have like fucking Uncle Ruckus fall in love with him. So he's like, oh, he's so wealthy and lovely.
Yeah.
If you really, because you have to go. I assume like the two of them wrote. By the way, one of the people who wrote this is a man literally called Bozenga.
That's the white guy.
That's the white guy. I'd love to know what bits he wrote. I'd like to know if the script was like segregated. Like, did he only have to write the white person
the white family
parts?
people shit? Yeah.
Because if so, that says a lot about him.
That was an enormous.
I kind of want to watch Stan Helsing now.
I can't wait to watch Stan Helsing with you. I've just remembered. So, there was a really, like, start to finish, awfully long-winded plotline of this movie where it was like the white guy's daughter had just turned 18 and now he couldn't control her sexual activity, and she was boasting about how she was going to like fuck till the cows come home, which was already just like quite weird.
They have like a standoff in the terminal where it's just like 4 hours, I can do whatever I want.
Teabagging, blah 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 blah, all of this, and then she goes to the club section of the plane and is dancing, like with a black guy, and the movie is acting as though, and this was written by adults who probably consider themselves to not be racist, but the movie was acting as though like this was a dramatic set piece, like will she have sex with the black man or not?
Yeah, it's like,
and then was like, sorry, but she said to the dad like, oh no, I was just kidding, I was never going to do that. It's like, well, one, it's not a problem if people do that, but two, the fact that we were going to make this big of a deal of it in the movie means that I have loads of questions for the writers.
So many questions, and for everyone involved, like
there wasn't this much intrigue on whether or not the priest actually fucked the kid in Doubt, the Philip Seymour Hoffman movie.
Well, exactly, it's like in fact The Hunt, like the Mads Mikkelsen film, whether he's a paedophile. They don't labour the question this much.
Oh my god.
But like, the idea of her having consensual sex with the black bartender is like a real supposedly tense moment.
The movie is trying to tell me that it's a point of contention, and I'm like trying to push it back.
Yeah.
I'm really, really upset that it's like someone's talking to you and they start being really, really objectionable, but they're like including you in their statements.
Yeah.
It's like, no, sir.
They're like, you know what we both think? And you're like, no, you know what you think.
This is what you clearly think. I have started watching this movie and now regret it massively.
So let's go for genuinely funny bits.
Okay.
Because there were a couple, weren't there? I feel.
Yeah, because my notes went really downhill, because right at the beginning of the movie, when I was actually kind of enjoying it, because the first gag was great, I wrote down, someone telling the worst jokes ever for 2 hours is often better than someone telling like some of the best jokes ever for 2 hours. I thought it was going to be like that, and that's how I feel about Don't Be a Menace.
To be fair, Don't Be a Menace is fucking excellent compared to this.
Yep. When they threw the dog
Don't Be a Menace has more of a plot than
funny.
this, which I never thought I'd say about anything. Yeah,
that was a big thing for us.
Yeah.
The plane hydraulics, we were both cracking up at that.
That was good.
Yeah.
But then again, that was almost like a double fake out again, because they put that in really late into that scene. So there's a bit where it's shown that there's a big hydraulics panel in the plane, and you see them doing it from the inside of like the soundstage. You're like, oh, they're not going to show the outside, because that would be a really expensive for 2004 CG effect.
Yeah.
That this film doesn't have. And then like it goes on for long enough that you're bored of the hydraulics, and then it shows the plane. You're like, oh fuck, there's a plane. They actually CGI'd the plane.
Thought they weren't going to spend
But then it like
money.
bounces and takes off. And that never comes up again. Because I honestly thought the hydraulics were going to come up in the end bit.
Oh, what, to save the plane?
Yeah, because I thought that would be really funny. Because it would be like, it was such a, they're such a vanity piece. And I was like, they are pretty useful.
I thought it was quite funny when the couple came in to ask Snoop Dogg, who was at that point passed out, if it was okay if they had sex. Yeah, because he ate African mushrooms.
He ate African hunter-gatherer mushrooms from Gaiman.
That was meant to go on people's penises.
Because he needed to soothe his crabs.
Yes.
Because African crabs
African crabs, according to the character in the film, Officer. I am only quoting the movie Officer. So yes, when they were having sex in the cockpit and they thought they had his consent to do it, because there was so much turbulence that his hand was waving up and he was nodding.
Oh, I see. That's what was happening.
Yeah. He was being like, yeah, go ahead. Oh, go ahead. Okay. I'm waving my hand right now.
I didn't even realise.
That's why this... We're like, yeah, no, have
I just
another
thought
beer.
Snoop Dogg was doing some weird improv. I was like, oh, look, he's flapping around.
I've come to the end of it. That's the best that I have.
I found a bit... I don't think that it's actually funny, but maybe I was just at a point with the film where I was willing to find it funny. I quite liked when he's breaking up with her and just, like, the most ridiculous series of sounds plays over it, so she doesn't know why.
Oh yeah,
he
because
tries to
yes.
he tries to explain, but like the plane goes over, and then like there's gunshots and like an ambulance, and then more planes, and yeah, exactly.
That was really funny.
And then like he's because he's just clearly given a really heartfelt speech about why he's leaving her because of the college stuff.
Yeah.
And like then he just. It just goes completely sad over. I was like, oh, that's pretty good. Oh, there's a couple of like weird sort of, I guess almost sort of like non-diegetic visuals, but I know that doesn't really work. But like there's a couple of bits where clearly the people who are on the plane haven't been established as being on the plane before. So like an American football team runs through, a vicarage runs through, there's a bunch of vicars.
All the priests.
I liked how many people were running down the side aisles. The end of the film has like one of those things where like freeze frames on individual characters and it's like, this character went on to do this.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
So I think really what tells like how little they cared about this is that they do that freeze frame technique where they like round off each of the characters' stories, but for like 4 characters.
Yeah.
They do it for Kevin Hart, Snoop Dogg,
the teenage boy,
and the dad who gets with the TSA lady.
Yeah.
And that's it.
The rapist lady.
Yeah, true, shit, she was the rapist.
She was a rapist.
And
is a rapist.
Now she's a homewrecker.
The final card for the teenage boy was that he went off to be one of the greatest, innovative music video directors of all time, but come to think of it, they had not seen him since he did that one for Michael Jackson.
You know what's kind of...
Make of that what you will, audience.
Poor Michael. He was still alive at that point as well.
Yes, he was. He was still ruining the lives of children.
I will say...
And getting away with it.
That's what Kevin Hart would have you believe.
Yeah.
The 15th anniversary of this film. I mean, really all this says to me is like, fuck how much have movies changed in 15 years. Like, if you think of the comparative comedy of today for this, which I would argue would be guess something like Trainwreck or those endless Melissa McCarthy fat spy movies.
Central Intelligence.
That they keep releasing, yeah.
Something like that.
The Spy Who Dumped Me, stuff like that.
And the latter day Kevin Hart movies, they're not bad like this, surely.
I don't know, I mean, yeah, do we count Jumanji?
Yeah, I think so.
The second Jumanji.
Yeah, Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle.
Yeah, not the actual Jumanji.
No, which is also not good.
I haven't seen it in ages, is it not? Is it racist? Is it post-colonial?
All movies that involve the jungle are racist, Aaron Chapman, and are post-colonial.
You've had it here.
I do like
it first.
The big game hunter who's played by the same actor as his dad, right? Yeah, that's a decent thing. I kind of like that.
But yeah, no, I do agree. I think if we take the same 2 actors, Kevin Hart and Terry Crews, who are both largely still doing comedy when they're not being kicked out of award ceremonies for inflammatory comments.
Yeah.
They are now doing comedy that is so divorced from this.
Yeah.
It's interesting that it only took 15 years. I'm not sure really where it changed. Like I said, I still maintain it's in that sort of like 2008 to 2011 period.
Yeah.
That Tropic Thunder era. Tropic Thunder to Your Highness. I reckon that's which we'll be doing soon.
That's what we will be doing now.
Committing it to audio.
Your Highness is actually a really good benchmark for that, Aaron, because
it's the first one that failed, isn't it?
Yeah, because people were sick of that, and then Natalie Portman was like, I was embarrassed being in it because of kind of the way that my character was sidelined because she was just the girl.
Yeah.
Of the story. Interesting.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think that's it. I think that's where that wave broke. I think
the high watermark.
Yeah, definitely, because
of offensive claptrap.
Probably for the best. I'd like to shout it out. Actually, we need to start compiling these on a graph. I reckon we're on something here. We're watching them.
Yeah.
So we might as well be fucking. Because remember, what was it that guy from Mythbusters said?
The only difference between science and having fun is writing it down.
I thought we said dicking around, but yeah,
that's definitely right.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
We can become scientists.
Cool. We're going to make a graph. But yeah, join us for the next fucking terrible film.
What are we going to do next?
I don't know.
Blue Streak.
Black Knight. Your Highness. White Chicks.
Oh, White Chicks is pretty high up there, man. I want to do White Chicks.
I want to do White Chicks as well because it's clearly crossing into another hot topic from our time.
Yes, Whiteface. That's what we're all talking about. Like and subscribe.
I'm cutting it there, yeah. Like and subscribe.